All right, before we get into it today, let's handle some business. First up, artwork. Everybody needs artwork, right? You don't want to look at blank walls. There's padded rooms for that. You need to spice things up. So whether you need a postcard size piece of art or a full huge poster, anything in between, all kinds of prints, whatever, for your house, your garage, your business, your cubicle, your man cave, your she shack, whatever it is, check out Tattoo Flash Collective over at tattooflashcollective.com. And they got whatever you need artwork-wise. Cool stuff. Designed by tattoo artists all around the world. It's not necessarily tattoo art, but it's just art that's done by grassroots tattoo artists, right? And collected collections. Now, obviously, if you need Tattoo Flash, that's the first place you got to go. You open up a new shop or you're revamping your tattoo shop, give them a holler. Or you're just doing a bar or something with a tattoo theme, that's the first place, hands down, you got to go. But even if you just want art for yourself, check them out, tattooflashcollective.com. If you use the promo code BigTruth at checkout, you get 10% off the order. If you are an insider, right, and if you don't know what that means, I mean, if you're an Inner Circle member here over at Patreon, then you get even more off your order, but you need to join over there to get information on that. And if you don't know, I've done some work, just like I did work on the YouTube channel. I've kind of gone through and reorganized the Patreon, and it's now called the Big Truth Back Channel. And that's where the podcast and redacted content live together, and where the longer conversations continue without limits on of public platforms. Gloves are off over there, and we get wild. But if you've heard me mention the Inner Circle, that's what I'm talking about. So, no pressure or obligation, but if you want to check it out, go over to patreon.com/BigTruth and, check it out and let's get deeper, right? So if you are into motorcycles at all, check out my shop, Chopperhead Custom Cycles, located at 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts. If you are not local or in the New England area, go to www.chopperhead.com. Now, on the website, there's gear and shop apparel. We have some parts. I can't put everything up there. I'm not a web guy, and someday I'll have money to hire somebody to really revamp the parts section and get everything up there. But if there's a part you need and you don't see it online, give us a shout. Give us a call, 508-995-6764. Shoot us an email, and you can get that off the site. And, we can get it for you. We're basically connected with everyone. Now, for those that are local or in the New England area, stop by. We're a full brick and mortar motorcycle shop. So what does that mean? You come in, there's a parts counter, there's a showroom, there's an area with riding gear and apparel and swag. And then in the back, it's a full-service motorcycle shop. What does that full service mean? That means we do everything. Any year Harley, anything from an oil change to a full custom build, whatever you need. Engine rebuilds, speed work, performance stuff, custom stuff. If you want a sissy bar, whatever, we do it. So 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts. Give us a call, 508-995-6764. Whatever you need, we got you. Gift certificates are available, too, if you got to give a gift to somebody and you don't know exactly what they want. Everyone always loves having one of those. All right. So for more information on the podcast, just go to bigtruthpodcast.com. And I definitely invite you to check the shop link there. We got all kinds of show merchandise there for you to check out. So go to bigtruthpodcast.com and hit the shop link, or the store link, sorry. And yeah, it'll bring you to a world of awesomeness and stupidity all at the same time. And by stupidity, I mean if you want a pillow with one of the designs on it or like weird stuff like that. All right. So without further ado, today's episode is a wild one. It went in a way different direction than I thought it was going to go, but it's awesome. And, stick with it. Listen all the way to the end. It's a wild ride, but it ends in pure positivity. So check it out.
The Big Truth Podcast.
Yes, once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of the Big Truth Podcast, and I'm stoked to have my man MD Selig here with me, who is a author. But you know, besides an author, he's got a roll call behind him of experiences that are all, they build off each other, and he's got a wild background that makes him a perfect guest for the show here. He's a decorated Marine captain, combat pilot, squadron intelligence officer, or was it a former squadron intelligence officer. Got 5 air medals, including the Combat V for Valor. Also a writer, producer, director. He has projects on Netflix, Showtime, Amazon Prime, and author of the new international best-selling psychological thriller Hush, which, if you're into aliens, government conspiracy, deep state deception, mind control, any of the stuff that we've talked about before on the podcast, you'll be into that book. So it's a great fit. But MD, I know you're on a pirate ship out in the Caribbean somewhere, or the Pacific, I mean. How's it going, man? I just thank you for joining today, and it's good to have you on, and I'm stoked to talk to you, but thanks for coming on.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here, Josh.
Yeah. So you're on a boat out in the Pacific.
I am.
That's awesome, man.
My pirate ship.
I think you're the first guest I've had on that's I've had guests remote from all over the place, but I think you're the first one that's on a boat. So if we see you rocking around or anything, we'll understand what's going on. It's not an earthquake.
It's moving a little bit. Hopefully it'll stay stable for you, but you can hear the creaks in the background. I think my microphone is probably canceling out the noise, but yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, no,
we got the full pirate background going on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's always been like a sort of dream of mine, because I've had a friend that's like lived on a houseboat and stuff, and it sounds like it's awesome until it's not. Like it's like awesome, and then when it's bad, it's like it really sucks. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you're. I mean, you already look the part, Josh. I mean, Blackbeard's got nothing on you, bro. You just put the lit fuses in your head, with the potassium nitrate, so that when you go into battle with your sword, your head's all on fire. That's what you do.
Yeah,
but
man.
All you need is your ship, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Bring your motorcycles right on board.
Absolutely, yeah. We actually did a motorcycle show out here on the USS Salem, and which is a old warship, and we had the dock, and we had some bikes up on the boat, and it was like at sunset. It was like the perfect thing. You know what I mean? But But yeah, man. Right now, my budget, I'd have the dinghy that comes out to see you on your boat.
Yeah. It's all good.
But yeah, man. So I know we want to talk about Hush, but I want to get into a little bit more of your background.
Sure.
Before are you totally out of the? Are you still a Marine? Are you out of the?
No, I got out in 1993.
Okay, so you've been out for a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
But so you were flying missions in like Desert Storm and stuff, huh?
Correct. Yeah. I did. I got out of college with a history degree from the University of Arkansas and went into flight training for the Marines, which is essentially Navy flight training, and then was selected for jets. And after going through kind of intermediate and advanced jet training, which is where you learn to land on the aircraft carrier, then I was sent to my gun squadron after going through a thing called the RAG, which is the replacement air group, where you learn to fly. I was selected to fly A6 Intruders, which is an all-weather attack jet. They don't fly it anymore. It's now a 2-seat F-18. My jet was a kind of a Vietnam era bird, but it was still a kind of a workhorse during Desert Storm. So in 1991, my squadron arrived on the southern tip of Bahrain, which is the island just off of Saudi Arabia. There was an expeditionary airfield there called Sheikh Isa. It was top secret at the time. It no longer is, but it was a big NATO base. So we landed, and there was, jets from all over the world. And basically I think it was only like a week after we landed, I think January 11th, 1991 is when the air war started. It was only, if you remember, the Persian Gulf Operation Desert Storm was only an air war. There was no ground troops went over the fence. It was just 43 days of air combat missions, and there was like 2,000 sorties a day, meaning there's 2,000 flights from B-52s to small attack jets, helicopters, everything you can imagine in the air 24/7 for 43 days. So it was just kind of an onslaught.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was the squadron intelligence officer. So kind of the way I got to writing Hush, and I'll try to close this little segment out, and then you can go anywhere you want with it. But
Sure.
It gave me a strange feeling because I was flying missions, obviously combat missions, and it had really nothing to do with weapons of mass destruction. And then I was the intelligence officer reading all the top secret briefs that were coming through, not only for our squadron, but worldwide traffic. None of that had to do with weapons of mass destruction. But then I would go to the officers' mess to eat, and we had a big screen TV there, of all things CNN. And it was all about, how they're saving us. American forces are saving us from weapons of mass destruction. But at the time, I just knew, like, this is not, there's something way messed up here.
Yeah.
There's got to be a different mechanism turning this. It's not the American government. It's not the American military. The media certainly isn't aware of what's really going on. Looking back now, that's kind of what kicked off this kind of search to pull back the curtain. Hence that led to writing Hush, which is kind of your covert history from about 1940 forward. And most of it deals with alien traded technologies, alien transactions with humans, and how we got to where we are this moment. So it should be a fun read for you.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to put that order in tomorrow on Amazon, or probably when we get off, so I don't forget. Before we even get in, where's the book available? I know it's Amazon. Do you prefer someone get it from someplace else?
No, they can. It doesn't matter. They can go to mdselig.com, and there's lots of links. But certainly on Amazon, there's the regular and then the Audible as well. So whatever works. It's a 22-hour Audible, so it's a lot.
Yeah,
but it's fun. I think you'll learn a lot about what might be your actual history.
Sure. And I want to get into all that, but I don't want to gloss over this, because before we hit record, we started talking a little bit about some of your other shows. How did you go from being a combat pilot, and, well, actually, before we get into that, what is, as a squadron intelligence officer, what's that role? I haven't heard that one specifically before. What's the role of a squadron intelligence officer?
Yeah. So in any flight squadron, you have different billets that you fill out as you go through your time in the squadron. So for 6 months, you'll be the squadron intelligence officer. Then you'll be the squadron maintenance officer. So then you'll be the squadron admin officer. Then you'll be the, whatever role you fill. And it's basically a way, as you move up in your rank, because you come into the squadron, in my case, as like a first lieutenant.
Yeah.
Because you've just finished flight training, which takes, almost 2 years. And so by the time you come into the squadron, you might be a first lieutenant, and you're learning how the squadron functions. And to learn that, you'll be, when you're not flying, let's say you're the squadron maintenance officer. So you then have all these guys who do maintenance all day long, gunnery sergeants, all the way on down. And they've forgotten more maintenance than you'll ever know in your lifetime. They're that good. Everybody's that good at what they call their MOS, or their billet, basically, of what they actually do. Yeah. But in this case, I was a squadron intelligence officer, which is just, for that 6 months, I was going to the secure room and reading all the top secret traffic. And because I'm such a nut about research and understanding things, like I want to kind of untwist things and try to, I can't stop unless I feel like I've finally hit the truth.
Yeah.
So that's what happens for me, is if I'm reading something and I feel like I'm on any gut level, like something's not right here, then I will tend to do what I can to pull back that curtain and go, what is happening here?
Sure.
And so that's what led to that. But that's what I was during the war. And it was fascinating, because I knew the night we were about to take the bombs over the fence, and we knew we weren't bringing them back. We had already been told, like, tonight at such and so time, we're going over the fence, and we're not bringing those back this time, which was a big deal, because I wasn't planning on being in a war. But to get back to your question, I had always been a storyteller. I had always been writing all my life. I loved books and movies. So I knew I was a hopeless romantic, so I got in the military to fly, not to be like the war guy. I got in because I just loved what jets could do over my head, and I'm like, I'm going to do that. Like when I was high school or whatever, and then I got my private license, and then in college kept training, and then subsequently was lucky enough to get through flight training. But so that led to, once I finished a tour as a pilot, I got out immediately. I didn't want to go fly big commercial jets. I thought I'd be bored to tears. So I went right down to LA and started writing and acting. I was like in Zero Dark 30 as an actor. I mean, you can look at my IMDb page. It's under MD Selig, but so there's a bunch of stuff on there that I produced. But I had my buddy Lincoln and I just ended up meeting early, and I told him, I'm writing this show. You want to be involved? And he's like, yeah. And ended up producing stuff together. And but that led to over time, I was writing for other production companies. So I was writing, somebody somehow noticed something I was writing, and then somebody would contact me and say, hey, would you write a screenplay for our production company based on this? And, I would just charge them a flat fee so I could keep living.
Yeah.
And I was doing everything else too, like, working at Home Depot, whatever it took to be in that world of storytelling and acting and writing. And then, after a number of years, I just started doing more and more research on covert events because I was still pulling back the curtain, and hence it took me about 3 years to write Hush. It's a 600-page novel, so you have a lot to read.
Yeah. So, and before we get full into that, because I have questions lined up, but you had mentioned you had a couple of shows on. You got a show on right now that's a motorcycle-related show, and there's a lot of motorcycle-related people listening. So why don't you talk a little bit about the show and how you get that going? And
right. So
because once we hit once we hit the conspiracy and the weird stuff, we're gonna go. You know what I mean?
So we'll get there. Yeah. The
whole
world is a conspiracy, isn't it?
All right, absolutely.
Or at least the media is.
It's getting crazy. Yeah, so, it's getting deeper by the day as well, like every day.
Yeah, so if you watch The Gunrunner Billy Kane, it's on Amazon Prime, and we set it out. I set it in the Mojave Desert in the future, and that show deals with what's coming, which is unfortunately nanotechnology that will be implanted in the brain and other technology that is already occurring worldwide, especially, and has been for many years now with I should just say the CIA. So the CIA has been using not only the MK Ultra stuff that everyone thought ended in the 70s, but I can tell you it not only didn't end, it continued on at Diego Garcia, a secret base, and is absolutely full tilt, high speed. Think Jason Bourne's all over the world. That's your real reality.
Yeah.
So there are.
It's crazy that you mentioned that too. I'm not trying to stop you, but like literally after this, I'm recording a little. I do also like a side channel that gets into conspiracy stuff, and I'm recording something on MK Ultra. Literally right after this, we're talking today.
So the Hush will cover a lot of where that went, and one of the main individuals in there, a gentleman I named Benjamin R. Waters, works for the CIA. He is a Jason Bourne character. He is the actual hijacker of MH370, and you'll see that I identify, if you get the audible version, you'll hear the actual calls from MH370 where the CIA takes over right after the flight lifts off. So it's all Asian-related verbiage that you'll hear, and I'll identify those calls for you. I'll say them in advance, then you'll hear the actual Asian pilot speak, which is Farik Hamid, all of the ground calls, and then I'll say, and here comes the first CIA call, and you'll notice it's an American dude in the cockpit after the two Asian pilots have been assassinated. So I kind of clarify in the book that the jet was taken by the CIA, and I don't know if that's why it's become an international bestseller, but it's certainly ringing some bells. But back to your question of kind of how that all came about, it was just from interest and being a storyteller. It just led to, I had to keep going until I got to what I found to be, for at least for me, to be the truth. So you can certainly give Hush a read. I think you'll enjoy it. And then it might be your actual world around you.
Yeah. So with the Gunrunner show, so you get into some of the nanotechnology stuff. I'm going to put that on my list. I don't watch too much TV, but this one sounds like, dude. So is it like a nod to what's going on with like Elon Musk and the and the brain implants, or is it like or are you talking to more?
Yeah, but I'll just tell you this, Josh.
The next level
before Elon stepped up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's kind of old hat by the, maybe he saw an early version of the Gunrunner. I'm kidding. Yeah. This had what inspired it was The Singularity is Near by Ray Kurzweil way back in like 2005 or whenever that book came out, which is essentially like, right now you and I are communicating via a laptop, right? Yeah. So I can open up my laptop, and if I want, you could take a look at anything on my laptop. But what's coming, obviously, is you'll just say, I'll let you enter my system and I'll know everything So telepathy eventually comes.
Yeah.
Right between humans, where verbiage becomes way too slow. And what everyone learns very quickly is the reason alien races basically communicate telepathically is just the speed of it. So just imagine that if I wanted you to understand, and I'll define like one sentence, like, okay, Josh, yesterday a bomb went off and it was really big and it was hot and it exploded on the corner of 6th and Fig Street in Hollywood, and it took out the Man Chinese Theater and blah, blah, blah. And all these people were this, that, and the other. So that took me, let's say 10 seconds to say that. But what if I could give you that like that?
Yeah.
That's telepathy, all in one thing. It's emotion, it's feeling, it's imagery, it's all of that in a split second. That's where humanity will eventually be, because that's where all ET races are. It's just a form of communication, and what they do is they can telepathically, they're essentially talking to your communication center in your head. And so it doesn't matter what language you speak, you're going to hear it in your own voice. If they're talking to you like, I want you to have a seat, but you're going to hear it in your own voice, because they're working a frequency into your communication center. And so that's what's coming. But in the Gunrunner Billy Kane, it's still, I kind of have it set in a dystopic future where it's kind of deserty and there's bubble cities and this, that, and the other, and motorcycles. Of course, you gotta have motorcycles. Like, why even have a movie?
What dystopian future doesn't involve motorcycles in some way, shape, or form?
Right. And the ultimate, you just can't. Anybody who rides a motorcycle, that's it. It's like they're gonna win.
And there's the quote for the episode. You just won over a lot of people with that one. Yeah.
just get back, because I'm on my bike. Okay.
Yeah.
But and you'll see some fun stuff with motorcycles in there, in the sense of there's some desert cars that come through, and we had a lot of fun with the movie. We shot it mainly in the Mojave Desert up at the Trona Pinnacles. So if you've never looked that up, that's a fun place to ride, where there's you'll see in the movie, there's 300-foot spires, and you're out in the middle of flat desert for 7 miles. Like, there's nothing around, and these spires stick up, and you'll see that you might recognize it like from some old Madonna music videos. They shoot a lot of music videos out there, but it's just an incredible place just outside of Ridgecrest, California, about 20 miles outside of Ridgecrest. So it's pretty fun.
With like the narrative of that is like, or not even I'm not want to get into the narrative of that, but so you think with these things that, like neural net or whatever, brain implants, you think that's where everything's going, where sooner or later we're going to talk via some kind of computer or AI assisted telepathy, just because it's a more streamlined mode of communication, or a little.
It's only a stopgap. Yeah. And the reason I say that is where we are going as multidimensional beings, we're about to step in, and it's happening right now this year. We are stepping into what we are, which is multidimensional beings. And the reason that the malevolent aliens have been here, and I cover this in the book, is because of fear of what we're about to be. And the reason disclosure is happening now, the amount of stuff that's going to come out this year, where you will absolutely know we are being welcomed into the galactic community, because there are a lot of ET races here to watch this uprising, this evolution that's occurring right now. You're going to start getting a ton more information. Trump just released a little hint of like, oh, we just used some weapons in Venezuela that the Chinese and the Russians. It's all alien traded technologies that have been reverse engineered. They're just now starting to let you know that. And by the time Elon releases his 1,000 ships a year, I can promise you, you will already know that we've been using anti-gravitic propulsion for decades. Like the TR-3B flies daily out of McCord. It has been for a decade. Flights to the moon, flights to Mars, flights out of Station D, which is Area 51. So all of that is now going to come forward very quickly here. And you're going to find this year is an exciting year. It's going to get a little rough before it gets better. But I'm only saying all that because telepathy is part of what you already understand and know that you've just forgotten. All humans have the capacity to do telepathy. It'll have to be tweaked a little, but you won't need any technology in your body. When humans step into what we are, you'll have telekinesis. You'll be able to move a mountain with a few humans if that's where you practice the powers that you have. We're that powerful.
Sure. And this is stuff, I've been exposed to and read about it for a long time. And I didn't know if you were saying that, because, everyone is born with these potentials. What do you think right now why has it been, there's a lot of, I'm trying to figure out, there's a lot of huge.
Fire away. I'll give you both barrels, Josh. Yeah, don't hold back. Just say
I know. No. It's not that I'm trying to hold back. I'm trying to formulate which one I want to go. My brain's firing in a million directions. And these are all huge questions. But what do you think? I want to get into the whole disclosure thing. But as a separate, just going on what you've been talking about where, people are born, people do have abilities. And you can see it. I know people that have psychic capabilities or empathic capabilities. But why do you think, or how, and has it been a planned thing to keep it suppressed in the population? And based on your estimation, you seem to have, you're in the know on some things, and I won't get into how you know or whatever unless you want to. But why do you think everything has been lying dormant in humanity for so long? And is that a planned thing? Is that a control thing? Or is that just people forgot type of thing?
It has to do with fear. And the fear comes from the malevolent alien or ET races that are here.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, the malevolent races that are here, that are working with all of the multinational corporations, not just governments, they came here because of fear. And people would say, well, why would they fear us? If they're that technologically advanced that they can travel here, they could have just killed us all. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with wanting to control humanity because of what we offer. What you're going to find very quickly here, and you may already know this, it sounds like you do on many levels, is that if you talk to secret space program personnel, people who have been in space, even folks who have been abducted, sometimes from malevolent races, sometimes from benevolent races, a lot of them come back with understanding that the ET races look at humanity as complete royalty. And if you ask the question, well, why would they look at us as royalty? We're so primitive. We are. And what's wild is they don't care about that. They're like, no, you don't understand. It's not your technology. It's what you guys have the capacity to do when you step into who you are, which is love, right? And here I am, whatever, macho combat pilot. That's all BS and details. It's true. I did fly in combat. I'm just saying, this is the superpower that a lot of alien races, they have no concept of emotions. So to make it really concise in a nutshell, the three major races that came here, ET races that came here to control us, as far as I understand, about 240 million years ago, well before we evolved, just remember, if they have the technology to travel here intergalactically, which they do, and I'll just say the Draco reptilians is the main group I'm talking about. Yep. Do they have the ability to look into the future on certain timelines? Yes, they do. Can they look into the past? Yes. Do we have that capability now? Yes. I'll get more into that later, but the point is
the lens project of
these ET races could foresee through their technologies that, oh my goodness, there's going to be this thing called humanity that's going to rise on this planet called Earth. And once those dudes become who they are, dudes and dudettes, it's over. Like they're going to be that powerful, and we are. So what they have done is they came here before we evolved. They brought the moon with them. How's that for throwing out a wild one?
Oh no, yeah, the moon has a satellite. It
doesn't rotate like all other moons on all other planets. Notice it doesn't rotate. It's a space station, and that broke my heart because I'm a big fan of the moon. But the point is, it's a frequency expander to keep us down. You and I are talking in the third density that has to do with space and time. But as multidimensional beings, kind of like when you dream, if I say, hey, Josh, right now I can see you, I know where you are in space because we're in the lower third density. That's a space I can locate 2 points and say, you're right there. But if you go into a dream state right now, if you fell asleep, you notice that in your dreams, you go places and you travel, and I can't identify where you are. Now you're talking about a frequency. And I say all that to say that these ET races are advanced enough to realize, all right, humans are so complex, we're going to have to frequentially keep them down. How do we do it? We can broadcast a frequency from inside the hollow moon space station, tons of bases on the backside, Draco, CIA, Lunar Operations Command. Every country you can imagine has a base on the backside of the moon, including the Nazis, who were the first humans to build a swastika-shaped base on the backside of the moon. It's very busy over there. But anyway, the point is, they came here to go, okay, how are we going to control this race before they evolve? We'll bring the moon, and there's Hopi poetry that talks about the Earth prior to the moon and what it was like to be here. And then there's Hopi poetry that has the moon in it, like, oh, this thing just arrived. So I'm just saying that what all humans are about to find out as disclosure comes, it's not just going to be about ships and technology. That stuff's great, but this is the bomb right here, what you are. The technology you'll find out, it's kind of like going to an electronics store. It's fun to go in there, but you, after a while, you just come home and I just want to feel myself breathe. Like the electronics is great, but it's nothing compared to being human, right?
Yeah.
Expression, emotion, and compassion and love, and there's just nothing. There's no electronics store that can top that, right? As we are evolving in this year, especially, the malevolent races that have been here have basically lost grip now. They kind of picked the wrong target. They picked us. The Draco reptilians are known as planet-conquering hordes. They have done this throughout the multiverse on many worlds, where they have taken over what they saw as a race that could basically overtake them or be more powerful than they are. But the Draco reptilians in particular are known as like the thugs of the multiverse. They're feared everywhere. A lot of that's covered in Hush. I won't go into it, but
sure.
To answer your question of why here, why now, they came because of fear of what we are about to step into. And they're still here, and they're still in control through a group I called the Cabal, which is above all governments, but there's mouthpieces in all governments that tell you the things that you think you're getting disclosure. Most likely you're not. You're getting limited hangout until this compression that's occurring right now, and then pretty soon it's all coming out. It's coming out like a flood because they're kind of on the run.
What are the other? And I'm familiar with the reptilians. What are the other malevolent?
So the Greys, Maitra, regular Greys. Now there's some people who say, oh, maybe they're not so bad. I'm just saying it's the Draco reptilians the grays and the blondes who have been here for,
with the blondes,
my
the
sources say
Nords.
240 million years, and they have been fighting over control of the planet because, like I said, if you can control humanity, which is eventually going to control you, you're going to try to do that.
Yeah.
And not that we want to control anybody, but our capacity to kind of be, I want to say, administrators of the multiverse was created by a bunch of benevolent races, almost like a beaker experiment to say, let's see if we take the best of the benevolent races and kind of beaker them, and let's kick that thing off on this planet called Earth. Let's see what we get. That's who you are.
So, one quick question. So, when you say the blondes, is that what's been referred to as like the Nordics before? Or
there are, so let me give you kind of a more visual example of how complex this is. If I say the blondes, if I tell you that woman looks somewhat Indian to me on the planet, what does that mean to you? Oh, it could mean 20 different races, right? Yeah. It could mean Indian or Native American or this. So I'm just saying, when I say the blondes, it's a particular, I'll just say it's a particular ET race that doesn't have our best interests in mind.
Sure.
There are Nordics. Just like with humans, we have factions like the Nazis who we can all agree might not be our best representation of humanity, right? We can say we think humans are cool and we all want to believe that we mean well, and I think we do. But do we make some mistakes? Yeah, we do. Do we have factions that are really pretty rough and willing to be violent? Yeah. Is humanity violent? It is. We're considered a warrior race, but we might be kind of like starseed angelic warriors, so to speak, when we're at our best, right? That we're only going to stand up when bad stuff is really bad and the universe needs help. That's what I like to think of as humanity at its best, when we're bringing it with love. Like, there's so much happening right now, but I'm just saying it's complex, and that I don't want to identify, well, that blonde who looks Nordic is a bad Nordic. All I can say is, just like in humanity, white race, black race, Latino, any color, you have factions that don't necessarily do the best thing in the interest of an overall race. Does that mean the overall race is bad? No, and I'll clarify real quick. You have many, many reptilian species throughout the multiverse. Most are known. It's like a 95 to 5% ratio in the multiverse of positive, like benevolent ET races versus malevolent. The 5% that are malevolent are here.
Okay.
They're here because of us.
Yeah.
Because of fear.
Okay.
Once you get that straight, then you start to realize, all right, now let's reset. We're going to be okay. We're going to be, if they wanted to kill us, they certainly long ago. That's not what they want. We're worth a lot more if we're controlled than dead.
Yeah. So, and you kind of touched on this, like, real quick, like when you're saying that, so the benevolent races got together and we're kind of, a mixing pot of that, like of genetically or whatever.
Sure.
So what do you like? So do you discount, or like, based on your knowledge, and I want to ask you, like, how you got into all this and how you found out about this, but like, does this discount the whole, like, the Anunnaki theory, like, where, like,
no, or nothing's discounted, no religion, none of it. So let me be clear about that. No path that any soul has taken. I mean, I'm a recovering Catholic of all things. I consider myself spiritual, but not religious for the last 30 years. However, nothing is discounted. So if you believe in Jesus, Allah, Bigfoot, it's all still valid, every bit of it. I'll just say it kind of a simple picture. If to go inside and get quiet from your heart, not from your head, but from your heart, requires you to look at a Bible and look at a particular image, and that works for you, bingo. That's your way of getting to where you as a soul need to get today. We all evolve at different rates. None of us are ascended masters, so to speak. Everybody has the capability to tap into your superpower. But everybody uses different venues to get there. Some people will swear by the Quran. Awesome. Does that get them to a state where they're feeling love? Cool. Bible? Cool. You want to read a spiritual deal of Rumi? Cool. My point is that all of it is valid. And at the end of the day, everything that you're seeking, and all the masters will say this, Rumi, Buddha, all of them, your kingdom, your queendom is within. Yeah. It's not out there in a book. It's not in an image. But if those help you to get to that quiet place where you open this orchard, then that's the ticket. Use it, whatever it takes. All I'm saying is use it every day. Have your little cup of coffee and your little breakfast. Turn off your technology. Find your quiet space for just 5 minutes a day. When you step into what you are from the heart, not from here, switch this around. Let your brain be the decoder of your heart. This is where all the benevolent races will eventually want to communicate with you. They communicate from the heart. And even that is far, far below what you are. And like communication with ET races and technology and all the stuff that you're about to see, which is beyond all your imagination in the most magical ways, all of it, I will promise you. Space travel, everything that you can possibly imagine that's super cool. Star Trek, beyond that, beyond Star Wars, all of that stuff is already happening and has been for eons. This right here, what's in here for each human is far, far more unspeakable than any of that stuff that's out there, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's huge. What do you think? So when you say, that there's, whether it's benevolent or malevolent, extraterrestrial, or now, a lot in the world of ufology and everything right now, there's a lot of discourse on whether things are interdimensional or multidimensional or extraterrestrial. What are your thoughts on that? Are some of these beings like not necessarily from somewhere else, so just another dimension, not another planet, or and then also I want to expand on it, like what is we're talking about the moon as a space station. Do you think there is like a hollow Earth? Do you think there are stations, hidden things here on the planet? Antarctica comes to mind, or like deep ocean stuff or whatever. I there's a lot to go on. I'm just picking your brain on some stuff, like what your thoughts are. I'm just and if I'm throwing random things out there, it's fine. We can try and string it together. But
you're going to be very excited. This planet is honeycombed with civilizations that have been here long before we evolved on the planet.
Yeah.
There are military operatives now even giving discourse. Like you can go to Dr. Michael Sala's show and listen to JP. He is constantly sent on these missions. Certain individuals, as you know, you have certain friends that are more psychic than others. I tend to think of humanity, like let's just say an individual human like me. Let's say I have 10 antennas, but my one antenna in the psychic realm is just longer than yours or better than yours. And maybe this woman over here has one even better than mine. They're going to pick her to go on a mission because the reason is what we've been finding over time, this is over decades, is that if there's a 30-mile long ship now being melted, the ice over it in Antarctica, and it's being revealed because it's 30 miles long, which is the truth, and they can't remove it. In other words, this is a problem for the cabal, this small group that's been controlling all the technology. This is a problem because they don't want, up to this point, they didn't want humanity to understand that there's an alien world out there for a number of reasons. Now that things are being revealed at such a rate, this compression that's occurring literally this year, there's so much information coming forward, the cabal can't even stop it. Yeah. The malevolent races can't stop it. In other words, you're going to know that we're not alone. But getting back to your question, it's known that there are multitudes of races within the planet. They have their own biospheres. They're below the oceans. They're deep within the crust. They're in the crust. Reptilian races that I never got back to. All of them benevolent. All of them want humanity to flourish. Why? We're the surface dwellers. We protect the surface. And the surface can get hit by meteorites or anything else. And many times our civilizations have been destroyed. These civilizations long ago decided to go into the earth. It's a lot safer in there. However, because of the crazy volcanic style roller coaster that us surface humans live on, because of that, because of us getting through all of these generations, and we're still here, and there's millions of us and billions of us, and we're all these different races, and we've managed somehow to not blow up the planet yet. That's why we're seen as this just incredible, a kind of unstoppable force, because we've managed it. And other races don't want to do that. They'd rather go on the earth and just kind of have a quiet, safe. We're like, oh no, we're cowboy, bring it. What are you going to do? You can't stop humanity. We're the badasses, so to speak. And we're willing to kill. So I'm just saying, we have goods and bad sides. We have to kind of learn to control the violent side. We are considered a warrior race. But like I said, I think the benevolent races realize we are the good warriors who can administer the multiverse in a much better way, and we can handle the bad guys literally with love. So that's why, to kind of answer your question, everything that you can imagine in Star Wars was already there when George got that script. It was already there when Stephen got the script for Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Positively, the exchange that you saw with Greys coming off that ship and astronauts going on occurred before Stephen got that script. Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Before George got his script for Star Wars, all of that was occurring. He just named Darth Vader, but and give credit to George for that. But the fact of the matter is the reptilians were already here. The reptilians already had a Death Star. I'm just saying, none of that you see in the media, including Star Trek, Prime, dealing with the Prime Directive, everything that you see on those shows, and far beyond it, multidimensional beings who are here as energy, who don't need a ship to travel and can travel between throughout the multiverse. All of that and beyond is what's available and what is here. It's massively complex and wonderful, and it's all coming right now.
Yeah. I definitely want to get into disclosure and what your thoughts are for the year. But one other question I had, just because I've had different experiencers on the show and researchers, and that frame it more, not as like an extraterrestrial, but more in a religious sense, like that a lot of people have been abducted. It's not extraterrestrials. It's more like Nephilim or demonic, or like, that type of situation where the malevolent things are actually, fallen angels and stuff like that. Have you come across that stuff, or is that in your realm of experience? Is that a thing as well that exists alongside of the extraterrestrials, or is it like, that it's like a weird thing because people are like kind of in one camp or the other, and I'm always like, well, can't it be both? Like, if there's so many different races of things out there, like, you know what I mean?
I think what's more important, so they're great questions. I would recommend that you don't focus on the distractions of any given thing. Someone can say it's a flat earth, and I can say, well, talk to 50,000 folks who've been off planet. It looks very round when they're departing the planet. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All other planets are round. I'm just saying. There's not a flat planet out there. So I'm just saying, you can get distracted on things that's in social media. You can keep going out. And what I'm saying is stop. Turn the mind control around, because that's what the malevolent groups, the cabal, the folks who have controlled you for all of your life and all of my life, they want you to keep going out. They're going to keep putting 3-Eye Atlas in the air. That's a CIA bird full of reptilians. I'm just saying, they're going to keep doing everything fear-based to keep you looking out, because they're afraid right now, especially, that you're going to get quiet, even for 5 minutes. And you're going to change the multiverse by getting quiet and seeing what you are. So I'm just saying, don't get distracted on all the, is it this, or could they be malevolent if they're abducting us? Really? Do we really want to spend on that? What I'm saying is, even if you had those answers, would it change what's important? Not really. Would you fear it? No. Would you fear being abducted if you're coming from love, if you're bringing it? No. Nothing's going to touch you. They can try. But the malevolent races literally cannot even stay on the planet, and that's what's occurring. When we reach critical mass as love, as humanity, it's over. Love wins, right?
Yeah. So how do you think that could occur? And this is a two-part question. One, do you think that's why things have felt very escalated in regards to, like, it's very obvious that there's more propaganda and more games going on than ever, things to keep people distracted, to keep people infighting, to keep people not looking at what's happening. You know, it's like, you know, and it gets to a point where it's like, all right, it's so obvious, like, now, like, anytime it's like, hey, you know, even dumb things, and I'm not saying this is a dumb thing, but, you know, and I actually retract that statement, but even on things like where you have like the Epstein list, right? And it's like, oh, we got 10,000 videos of this stuff. And then it's like, no, it was a hoax. And then it's like, people are like, well, then release it. And then it's like, oh, we're just going to shut Congress. We're going to shut the government down for a month and a half while we can go in. And, you know, there's just so much going on that's like, it's all like shell games, like shuck and jive, like, oh, look over here, but don't look too deep here, but now look here, look here. There's a lot of propaganda. There's obviously a lot of mind control or shape, you know, narrative shaping going on. Do you think that's like because this is getting closer and they're trying to, this is like the last Hail Mary, all right, stop throwing everything at them so like we can try and keep this at bay?
It's going to get a lot rougher before it gets really good, really quick here. And just like you said, even as you discuss that, Josh, just think of the spin that you just sent 400 people on going, oh, I got to look at that. I got to look at that. I got to look at that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is be careful, because you're really powerful. This show, all these shows are really powerful. And what I'm saying is start putting out, what you'll find is start turning people in.
Yeah.
If you just say, look, everybody, you can hear tomorrow is going to be 100 more fear-based things that pop up in the news. It's going to get really rough before the final transition occurs here. But at the end of the day, it's so far from what you get to experience here. All I can tell you is when you start going inside to your heart and get out of your head, turn off your technology, 5 minutes. We're all on the toilet for 5 minutes a day, Josh.
Yeah.
We just are. So now go, all right, well, I can spend 5 minutes getting quiet. I'm going to find my little corner where there's a window. I'm going to light a little piece of sage. I'm going to create my little cathedral. I'm turning off all technology, and I'm going to defend that space. Nobody gets to come in. No kids, no parents, nobody. Nobody gets to call. If somebody wants to talk to you during that time, sorry, bro, I'll get back to you in 30 minutes. I need some quiet time. You will have molecular changes occur every time you go. And just like going to the gym, that little space where you get a quick glimpse of yourself as love, it pretty soon just opens. And then it opens so big. It's like Rumi says, when you get to that place where you're quiet and empty, experiencing yourself as what you were before you came into this avatar and what you'll be after the avatar dies, you don't. You'll never be so content. And in that contentment, when you're in that quiet, incredible space where you're expansive as love, you will absolutely know, like, all of these answers that you might have questions to, and all of the spin that they want you to spin on just kind of becomes a detail where you're like, really? Do I care if people think it's a flat earth? Let them have it.
Yeah.
Do I care if Three-Eye Atlas is coming toward the planet? Am I going to die? I'm not. My avatar might. But I'm going to be here. I was here before. I am expansive as love, right? And that orchard that you open, it grows. It becomes a place of sustenance. It's not like an achievement where, oh, I made another motorcycle and it's the most awesome ever. And then after 10 minutes, you're like, oh, yeah, I did that. I know I got to do another one. Like, what have you done lately achievement-wise? And all of that starts to fade. You know, I don't need to do another movie. It's not going to give me sustenance. So I'm just getting at, I'm trying to constantly turn the cycle of mind control going out and fear and trying to research those things and get a hold on it, because when we wake up in fear, which we do every morning, everyone wakes up in a little bit of fear. We just do. We wake up and that has to do with malevolent groups who control this planet and have for all of your life. That's where that fear is driven from. It's frequencies, even coming through your phone. I won't go into it now. But I'm just telling you, the level of technology that they use against humanity, and especially in this final fight, is excessive and beyond your imagination. But you are the superpower. Just turn it on.
So I guess let me ask this. As you're a former combat pilot that flew active missions. There you started noticing consistencies on, like, what the narrative was that the rest of the country is being sold on, and what you guys were hip to, like with what was going on with that plants a seed, and then you start seeking more truth of what's going on. What experiences or what happened to you in your life that like led you on this path? How did you come about this knowledge or this understanding? You could have gone anyway. You could have stayed in the military forever. You could have stayed in intelligence. You could have got co-opted and been in that world, but you walked away and you came to a different understanding of things. Did something specific happen, or is it just like with time, like you just got more and more?
I'm glad you asked that question, because I've been answering this. I do way too many podcasts to mention now because of the novel.
Sure.
And that's great. But I'm just saying, as I've been discussing this, because everyone seems to ask this question and it makes sense. And this is the first time I'm going to bring this up, because it is changing as I talk about it, and I'm starting to realize the power. So I've been telling Lincoln, my buddy and my assistant, who kind of runs all these podcasts and keeps me straight on how many I've got to do today.
Yeah, sure.
I've been telling him that when I was finishing the novel, I became aware that unlike any other story, because I write stories for production companies, I write stories. It's what I do. I'm a storyteller. But this hush novel of telling folks what might actually be around them started coming so fast and so incredible that I told Lincoln, I'm like, dude, all I can tell you is it feels like it's being written by committee. I don't use AI when I write. I write because I love to write, and I love to express visually what I'm seeing. And I can't even write a scene until the research is so insane that I pretty much know if Eisenhower's in an armed convoy at a certain time at Roswell, that you can pretty much bet he was there. Yeah. If I've written it in the book, it might be your actual reality. Okay. But my point is that this committee, this thing, this juice has been bigger than me and allowed me to write at a rate because of research. It's almost like they're like, go over there. You're going to want that information. Now go over there. Now go talk to Josh. Now talk to this other woman. And the book just, I couldn't write fast enough. The amount of information that was coming in that was valid, because I'm a vetter. I have to vet people. I have to look at them from a million different angles to understand this person is telling me the truth. And then over time, my heart, as I was doing research, just would kind of know, like, that one's the real one. This person is not. She's real. He's not. He's real. She's not. my heart just started to know, like, these are the truth tellers. The Luis Elizondos are not. I just started to know Bob Lazar is for real. I started to know who was and who wasn't, and it was a gut feeling. It was just deeper than any knowing. You just know when you're hearing the truth.
Yeah.
And I say that to say that, coming back to the answer, what drove me to this? I told you I've been a storyteller, and there was a sense back then, like, I need to pull the curtain back. Something is not right here. I know there is a shadow thing running this planet. This is not right.
Absolutely.
All I can say is, I'm now realizing, and this is the first time I've said this, I think probably for all of my life, they've been working me up to this moment, because as you learn through these ET experiences of doing so much research, it's far bigger. And perhaps I wrote the script before I even came back into this avatar. Like, I'm here to help love become love. But whatever it is, it's not just this individual avatar. I'll promise you that.
Yeah. So did it feel like, other people, when they said things have happened like that, inspiration or whatever, it almost just feels like a download, like you're just struggling to keep up. It's like it's all there, and all you can do is to try and keep up with getting it out.
Well, you'll know this feeling. It's the same passion that you have when you're working on a bike and you're like, God, I just know this part is going to fit right here so good, and it's raw and it's brand new, and I just created it, and it's built, it's made for this bike. Like, you just know it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's that passion. Like, when I'm riding and when a scene is rocking, I'm just like, get away from me. Like, this is so awesome, right?
Yeah.
It's that. But then there becomes an awareness, maybe because I open my heart a lot more now these days. There becomes an awareness like, okay, I thought I was Mr. Hottie-da and la-di-da. And then I realized, oh no, this has been a huge multi-dimensional group that's been going, go over there, read that book, go talk to that person. Like, you're just kind of, and to think, from what I know about, all of my research in the ET races and all the people that have had experiences, is that, from what I understand, you decided as love, we're all just love, but you decided as love to learn more about love. And what you decided to do was, I'm going to reincarnate into this human body on this planet that's completely volatile. Because that roller coaster, the one I'm choosing to re-inhabit, this particular MD Selig, or you, Josh, decide to re-inhabit a body for this crazy ride that is being a human. And because of that, you're going to learn more about love than you've ever done as love. And so you incarnate, you write your own script before you even step in as a baby. And from what I understand, you may be running millions of avatars as love. We're literally here as love, looking back at ourselves in the mirror going, how can I grow more?
Yeah.
As love. Love wants to expand. Love wants to grow. And you and me and all of us as love might be just looking at ourselves going through this tumult that is our current human existence. And what's happening? We're being forced, because of all of the crazy stuff and the malevolent groups, to go, all right, what's our options? Well, I certainly can't keep up with all the fear. That's not doing anything for me. That's not serving me. So what's another option? Oh, I can let go of this fear. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm love. I'm not dying here. They can shoot me and kill the body. I'm not dying. I'm here, and I'm bringing it. Yeah. It's like that.
Sure. And I've told people this plenty of times, because people get worked up in the news cycle and wrapped up in the fear and the discord and all that. I'm like, just go outside and walk around. Everything's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Just go in the woods for a minute. Like, everything's cool. Take a breath. It's all right.
The woods is right here, right? Go in the woods, go outside, take a breath. You're exactly right. And there's a million ways, is like, Rumi says there's a million ways to kneel and kiss the ground, meaning there's a million ways to become spiritual, to step into who you are. Do it whatever way you want to do it, but just get away from technology.
Yeah.
And see what you really are. And all of that angst, all of that anxiety just kind of falls away, and you just realize, oh my God, there's a tree right here. And it has leaves and it's magical, even if it's winter. It's just the details of the moment that as you come closer and you start to stand more in your orchard, you just realize all of this other stuff is just a detail. It's nothing compared to human love and compassion and what we do when we bring it. There's just nothing to touch what we are.
Yeah.
Technology, all the space stuff, aliens coming, visiting us, who can talk to an alien, whatever. That's cool. If you want to talk to aliens, they'll talk to you. They are not anywhere close to love in the sense of there's nothing more to desire or traveling to another planet. It's like going to another state. You'll be able to do it in this lifetime. I'm pretty sure all of us will get to go off-world in anti-gravitic ships. We'll be able to go not only intergalactic, but many, many humans will travel multidimensionally, multi-frequentially, because we're really just a frequency. You can dream, and those beings that are human, that decide to, that want to work, that want to tweak that thing at the gym, so to speak, they will be able to travel as you travel in a dream, but you'll choose it now. You'll say, I'm just going to get so simple and quiet as love. I'm going to let go of this body for a while, and I'm going to travel. And that is a fact that you can do this moment if that's what you want to do. It is a power that we've just forgotten. We already have.
Yeah. And it's funny because people will be like, oh, these guys are talking nonsense. It's like, no, government studied all this stuff. You know, look up Stargate, look up, you know, there's plenty of different ones you can look up and see, like, there's already been a lot of research in that, you know, remote viewing, astral travel, you know, whatever, you know, the nature.
And look, at the end of the day, Josh, who cares if they don't believe you?
Yeah.
They can go to another show. But what they're going to learn, right? What they're going to learn is, oh, damn, he knew what he was talking about.
So
you don't have to worry about it, right? You come from love, and then what will be revealed for everyone is far beyond anything that right now that we imagine, because we've been so controlled to be, oh, you're just human, you don't have psychic capabilities, you're not psionic, you're not multidimensional, you're just a human primitive, you're nothing, you can't even go off planet.
Yeah,
all of it is untrue.
Yeah. Now, when something you hit on that was interesting is like you got the wisdom of discernment where you can be like, that guy's a real one, that guy's a fake one, you know, or she's being misleading, that one's real. What is your sense on what's going on with all this disclosure stuff now? Like, what's the purpose of it? Is it trying to prime us to gauge like how people are going to react, or is it just like, hey, this is coming, like we're going to have to really start talking about it soon, or is it, you know, one last psyop to try and distract us from something else?
Well, I think if you're looking at our Congress or anybody to do with our government, that's the wrong direction to look.
Sure.
All of the information that you want. I will just tell everyone right now, if you haven't gotten on Gaia TV and watched every episode of Cosmic Disclosure, that is several interviews with several individuals who I can promise you are the real deal. And those interviews were done in 2020, and they are telling you about their times in the secret space programs and everything that they were using 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, remember, that's technology in space. Individuals that were going to Diego Garcia and back and other places on the planet to pick up goods for space. In other words, we have been in space, not only in trade negotiations with other planets, other races, for decades, and it's available to you right now, but no one is looking at those Cosmic Disclosure episodes. And look at the ones with The Hidden Truth with Linda Moulton Howe and Tactical Tim. Those episodes, put them on 2 times normal speed once you get used to their voices, and go work in your yard and realize, oh my goodness, We've been in space moving intergalactically for decades. We, meaning a very select few, which I call in my book the cabal, a group that has tried to keep it hidden from regular humanity. Because if right now you found out that 0 point energy was available to us decades ago, which it was, reverse engineered craft had 0 point energy, meaning just energy from the ether, no oil, no gas, no electricity needed. Now, that messes things up for those that are in power, like the Rockefellers, the Blue Bloods, the royal family, the Rothschilds, all of the families that are in control of a planet, that have been in control since eons ago, right? Those families don't want that out. Because if you're big oil, you don't want humans to know that they could have had free energy 40 years ago.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be driving a car. We wouldn't be flying in an oil dripping jet, right? We would be anti-gravitic, like they've had the TR-3B to the moon and back daily out of McCord and out of Station D. My point is that what you start to understand about the control is that those groups that control and actually manipulate, big pharma, banks, the media moguls who control the planet, are not going to just suddenly step forward. Lockheed Martin is not going to come forward and go, hey, America, we've been, we didn't want to tell you, but we've been lying to you. Yeah, we got some reverse engineered chips. They're down on 4th Street. We're going to open the Alien Museum. There's going to be some dead aliens and some live ones in the museum. Come on down. That's not going to happen. There's no agenda for groups like Lockheed Martin, who make trillions and trillions, not only on this planet, on other planets where the cabal is mining and making more money and trying to control more of our multiverse, because that's what these folks do. The malevolent races that are here, alien ET races, that work with this cabal that's completely convinced that the feudal society that's been on the earth for all this time should remain, because they get to have what they want, and we're no smarter. We don't know there's med beds and ships that are antigravitic. We don't know we can go off planet. Yeah. We don't even think there's aliens. Hence the control. Because we fund all of it. We fund everything that's off planet. Not just American. Every group on every government is funding their governments, but it's being funneled to this group that's above all of it. No. So hence, getting back, it's all kind of covered in hush. You'll get a very good basic evolution of how we came in contact with these malevolent races, where we came in contact, what years, how it's evolved now, why they control everything, why you don't know how they control. But to get back to your question of disclosure, everything that you want to know, that you've been wanting to know, like the Alien Museum, it's been available to you on Gaia for years. Just watch Cosmic Disclosure. Watch every episode. Randy Kramer, Emery Smith, David Adair, all of these folks have been dealing with alien traded technologies and alien races for decades. They're not lying. They're just saying, I don't care if you believe it or not. Yeah. Here's what I just did. Tactical Tim, who's from Germany, worked in the covert programs for Germany, dealing with multidimensional beings, because he was one of those people that they said, you have some kind of weird capability. We would like you to look at this. Can you do this? That was 30 years ago. He's now left those programs and is on Gaia TV on Cosmic Disclosure talking about, well, I was brought into these covert programs to deal with the Greys initially, and I've had hundreds of meetings with Greys. He's not BSing you. He's just saying, this is how the Greys operate. This is the way they think. And you're just going, okay, God, this is for decades. So if it's decades, what is it to now? Yeah. I'm just saying, it's all coming. Disclosure, everything that you want to know, it's already here. And at some point, what's occurring with this compression, when I say it's coming this year, that it's going to be absolutely no doubt for the rest of the planet, like, oh, we're not alone, is you're going to have contact events that start to occur. You're going to have Trump announcing, you know what, we just discovered an anti-gravitic engine. Well, that's when he announces it. The reality is we've been using anti-gravitic technology for decades. It's just now going to be announced to you, and you're going to go, oh, wow. So Elon's 1,000 ships a year aren't going to be using rocket fuel. They're going to take off right from that plant where he's making 1,000 ships a year, anti-gravitic. They're not going to take 8 months to get to Mars. They're going to be there in a few minutes. Yeah. How is that? Oh, because that technology happens to have been there. We just discovered it. That's what you're going to get.
Yeah. And then whatever they're admitting to there, that there's decades, they're only giving you this stuff from a couple decades ago. Like they always have stuff. The technology they have is always like 20, 30 years out from what they release.
And absolutely trust that if Elon Musk is doing what I call NASA style ships, old school fossil fuel rocket fuel, he is also equally, if not more, involved in working with the secret space program, developing stuff for the secret space program, and has forever. Yeah. I'm just saying he's been involved since the get-go. So that now you can kind of look at someone who's giving you sound bites like, oh, I'm going to build 1,000 ships a year. What he's not telling you is what I'm telling you about the cabal and this twist to keep humanity down, because he's part of it. He makes a ton of money off your fossil fuel stuff. Yeah. Is he's not telling you, oh, and the one thing I didn't tell you is, for the last 30 years, I've been helping out with the secret space program, funding these projects. Tesla is not just Tesla. Tesla also has investments in all of these multinational companies that work on component parts that then become spaceships once they're put into space, and they're all anti-gravitic, and we've been out in the intergalactic space for decades.
Yeah.
And Elon gets to go to Jupiter with Trump and have a meeting at Jupiter to realize, oh my God, it's all coming now. Be very clear that all of it and beyond your imagination has already occurred and is occurring, and it's complex and wonderful, but you will know if you get in here of who's giving you the truth and who's not. And for the most part, anything you are seeing on technology, and I mean Facebook, Instagram, all the fear-based stuff, anybody who's giving a soundbite about technology, that is not necessarily in your best interest. It's not Elon giving you a big reveal.
Yeah.
You're getting a half reveal according to the sound bites he's supposed to say. And trust me, he's controlled as well.
Yeah. So what is it, this upcoming kind of disclosure, it's going to get rough before it gets better. Like, what can people do to kind of keep their wits about them during this, and like be able to have discernment and have situational awareness, like, and also just keep up hope, you know what I mean? Like, if it's going to get darker, because, I see, everyone I know right now is down, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, man, this is like the worst, like business is down, this is down, work's down, it's, groceries are up, everything, everyone's struggling, even people that I know that have done well, like they're not doing as well, you know what I mean? So everyone, it's like a down thing right now. What can people do to kind of stay above board and keep their head up and know, when things are about to pop, I guess,
Sure. Well, just remember, I've talked a lot about it, so I won't go into more. You have a place to go now.
Yeah.
All of your answers. And as you go there more, as you go to your quiet place that is you, your holy place within you, right? Your orchard, what you're going to find is the dilemmas, the angst, the terror, the fear that is bringing you down will start to dissipate very quickly when you start to realize, like, I don't have to buy in anymore. I do not have to turn on Instagram today or TikTok. And if I'm going to listen to a podcast, I'm going to listen to Josh talking about, hey, it's getting rougher on the news. I advise you don't necessarily go there. It's not going to serve you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about motorcycles today, or let's talk about benevolent things that humans can do from the superpower standpoint. Let's do a meditation. Let's change the narrative to something positive. Let's go garden today. What does it feel like to have dirt on your hands and just smell a plant? It's not my thing, but I might garden someday. I'm just saying that you have a million options. And if you're getting down, which everybody gets down, I get down. You honestly can literally, as a human, all humans, not just any human, all humans can manifest complete joy and complete happiness literally daily, but you have to start somewhere. And that means take 5 minutes, turn off your technology, go, I'm going to have an amazing 5 minutes, even if it's not perfect. I'm not going to expect anything. I'm just going to get quiet from my heart, not from my head. I'm just going to get quiet and allow my heart to open. I'm just saying the molecular changes that will occur for you, that you will physically feel almost instantaneously as you start to do this. That 5 minutes for me sometimes is over an hour, and sometimes it's over an hour 3 times a day because it's so damn good. I'm just telling you, defend that space. Yeah. Defend your quiet space. Be willing to turn off technology and tell your friends, I'll call you in an hour, and just pull your car over. Get quiet in your car. You don't have to be going into nature. Anywhere you want, just go, I'm stopping this silly roller coaster of going downhill and feeling down and feeling crappy. I'm going to flip this because you can manifest. You can manifest not worrying about money anymore, and watch what happens when you do it. You're that powerful. Every human. You are love, and it's unspeakable, the power that you have to literally manifest whatever it is you want it to be, including, I want to be happy in this short passage. I want to be really ecstatically happy. Say it 2 days in a row in your quiet space. All of a sudden, you're going to go, why didn't anybody tell me this?
Yeah. And now that's, super powerful stuff, and I should end the show here, but I do just want to ask you one other question because that was such a good way to end.
Together because we got to talk about motorcycles.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But to hit on your book, there's a lot of truths in your book, but it's a nonfiction book. Like, what made you want to write it more as a novel than as a nonfiction book, like, or as
Sure. As a storyteller, I've just learned over time, like when I read the factual books about, disclosure, or somebody saying, I know this happened at Roswell, and then they put 100 footnotes, I just find it gets to kind of be dry.
Yeah.
Now, I'm the person that can get through it because I'm researching. But my experience is if you write a really fun story that's interesting and intriguing, people will get through the story because they're into the characters, they're into what's occurring. And then if they want to look behind the curtain a little bit and realize, oh, he's talking about Roswell, that he thinks this occurred, and then they start looking into the research of it, they'll be like, oh, dang, wow. Okay, this is pretty darn close to what everyone says actually happened. So that as you're going through the book, you'll start to realize, like, this may be my actual reality around me and how it got to this moment.
Great. And, I know it's like, there's probably no timeline here, but it's February 1st. It's cold. It's dreary. We going to have a good summer? Is it going to be a wild summer? Like, you know what I mean? Meaning, like, when do you think all this is really going to start turning around? You said it could be this year.
I think it's right now. I think you're in the midst of it as it's getting more crazy in the news. And just remember, up until this moment in time where it's now hitting all news stations, that, okay, I guess we can officially say we're not alone, because there's going to be some contact events that occur in this year.
Yeah.
And you're going to have, and the reason that's all occurring, the reason the benevolent ETs are going to be able to not break the prime directive, but be able to step forward and say, okay, we're here as well, and we want to welcome you to the galactic community. The reason that's occurring has to do with all of the forces that I talked about up to this moment, that the malevolent groups, including our cabal, cannot stop. So in a way, their hand is being forced because they picked the wrong target. to control. And so but you're in it right now. So all of this rough stuff that's in the news is, like I said, meant to pull you away. Don't let it. Stay on target. Go deeper in here. You'll be fine. It's going to get a little rougher before it gets better. But by the end of this year, you will absolutely know that we've been welcomed into the galactic community, that we've been off-world intergalactically for a long time, and that all of it's going to start hitting home like, oh my goodness, okay, what are we now? We're this amazing race that's no longer controlled, and let's see what we can do.
Yeah. What do you think the post-real disclosure world looks like? You know what I mean? Is it going to, like, how fast do you think things are going to change for the better, I guess?
Oh my. Right now, in 3 days, from my understanding, the oceans could be cleaned with technology.
Yeah.
Just think about that. In 3 days, the entire, because it's disgusting. I've got it outside my pirate ship right now, and I don't want to go swimming in that water. It's so disgusting.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't even want to say what's in there. But all I'm saying is what's coming is an incredibly bright future. And I'm not saying technology solves everything, but med beds, all of the things to help humanity, the complete abolishment of poverty worldwide. There's not going to be people who are thirsty. There's not going to be kids dying all over the world. Humanity is going to step forward and go, wow, we now are trading with all of these amazing benevolent races who can say, look, just with the power of the mind, you guys can not only do this, but here's some extra technology that we can just clean your oceans literally from space-based platforms that can zap the ocean and frequentially clean your ocean back to its original state. Just think about that.
Yeah.
Those technologies and far beyond are available. We have med beds that you can lay on. They're alive. They'll go, hey, it's Michael Selig's body, and he's got some cancer cells right here. Let's just fix those real quick, okay? And then his old bones on the corners are all beat up.
Yeah.
And in an hour, you get off a med bed, and you're like, kind of like a baby. You're new. You're not regressed in age. But if you want that out in the world, you can certainly have that in the multiverse too, if that's your thing. That has more to do with ego and looking good. I want to look good, but I'm just saying, what is coming very quickly here is an amazing, super bright future for all of us. Stand by, go inside, you'll be fine. Nothing to worry about.
It's great. And I hope that happens sooner than later. What does justice look like for the cabal and the people that co-inspired that with the cabal? Is it just living better without needing them, or is there like some cosmic justice for people that actively conspired and worked with this to hold us down?
There is always yin and yang. I don't think it's something any of us need to be concerned with.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is it doesn't serve you to get into anger over a particular person, because I get really, really angry because I've been aware of this stuff for a while, and I've been very isolated, knowing, like, I'll give you for instance, Donald Rumsfeld led the attacks of 9/11. Your own Donald Rumsfeld and Cheney and Bush were involved at the top level. I'm just saying, I can get really mad about that stuff. It's going to come out in Hush 2. In as far as the details of what occurred at 9/11, our own American government perpetrated that crime against Americans with thousands dying, and they knew they were going to die, and they directed those attacks to create us being able to go over to Afghanistan and Iraq to get alien traded technologies that had nothing to do with oil or with controlling the Taliban.
Yeah.
There was no Indians involved. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's wild. I can't believe anyone still believes the official narratives of these things.
That I can get really mad and aggravated and want revenge.
Yeah.
Rumsfeld is dead. Cheney is dead. Bush will be dead. In other words, you're not going to get retribution for all of the groups for several decades now, that all of the main players, from General Twining clear back in the day, who signed contracts with alien races behind Eisenhower's back, you're not going to get retribution, and it doesn't serve you to go there. Just like being a hater doesn't do anything for you. You can hate on anybody that's famous or that you're jealous of. What does it do for you? Nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve you. Once again, let it go. The universe has an incredible way of balancing things out. You've just learned in your life, if you do something a little bit wrong, that you made a mistake, it's going to balance out. You're going to have to kind of answer to that. And all of those folks who perpetuated what we might consider like a war crime, there's a reckoning for everybody, but you don't have to worry about it. That's a love thing that you literally, it's one other thing. Just don't get distracted on it. Don't get mad about it. It won't serve you. Just let it go and go, okay, we've all done something wrong. We're all redeemable, hopefully. It's not your business to go attack to put out online, oh, we got to go after Donald Rumsfeld. He's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
But his whole cabinet with Bush isn't dead. And you can get really mad like I do. Like I said, I get so mad I'm walking knowing I'm alone in understanding certain truths that are about to come out on a bigger level. I won't be the only one who knows. But at the end of the day, as I start to get really mad, I'm just going, what am I doing? I'm not going to solve this. It's not like I'm getting retribution. I just want people to kind of understand what may have occurred on 9/11, that it wasn't another country. Yeah. I want people to understand that MH370 was taken by our country. Yep. And our CIA isn't really even part of our country. That's a whole nother level. I'm just saying that there are things that you can get really mad about, but I want people to kind of understand what might have actually happened around them for all these years, and because you can't really understand how to evolve forward and move forward till you understand the level of deception that you've been involved in, right? So that's what I've come to understand, is the more I understand the level of deception and what humans are capable of doing, it allows me as love to go, wow, okay, I get it. I've made mistakes. These guys made bigger mistakes because they had more power. Maybe they killed a bunch of people, and I might consider that a level of bad that I wouldn't do. But the fact of the matter is, humans do things, and retribution isn't, it doesn't serve you as a love being to go after it. You don't have to worry about it. If that makes it simple, you don't have to worry about it.
100%. And but it does still behoove you to learn what's going on and get the real story, yes, so that you can understand how deep things are, and, learn how to discern what's really going on versus what they're telling you, so that, just to step out of it all. You know what I mean? Like, don't get caught up.
That's right. And
MSNBC and Fox News are lying. Yeah. Yeah.
Once you understand the level of deception,
yeah,
then you can understand how, if your phone is on right now, the CIA is using your phone to create an alternate reality, and your listeners are going to go, okay, he just went off the deep end. Yeah. You're going to find out that's what's occurring right now. You don't have to worry about it. I'm just saying the technology that's being used this moment is now through your cell phone, and mine is turned off right now, but I have to use my cell phone. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
I'm being a little bit controlled as well. But the level of stuff, when you finally get a hint of how big it is and how long it's been going on, and how much more advanced than just humans that are running this show with the CIA, it's these malevolent groups. Just remember, if they have the technology to come here intergalactically before you've even arrived, do they have the technology to work you through your cell phone? Yes.
So Hush 2, you're going to be working on soon. When can people expect that?
Hush 1 took 3 years of hard writing. So, but I'm a faster writer now. I tend to splat things out a little faster on the page. Sure. So I'm hopeful. I'm going to take a little sabbatical here to get back to writing, because this podcast schedule is way too heavy for me to drop in at the level I need to write. So I'm going to disappear kind of mid-February, and then hopefully, 6 months later, I'll come out with something that's a pretty cooked piece of pie, and then I'll have my editors take a look at it, and we'll get it out as soon as we can. So, within a year, hopefully from right now, we'll have Hush 2 coming out, Hush Volume 2. It'll be a Covert Evil Volume 2. And you'll get to read about some wild stuff that's occurred in your past that you're well aware of, but it might be a little bit different take on what you thought actually happened.
Absolutely. And when that comes out, or even beforehand, but I know you're going to be busy. You got an open door to come back anytime. And I look forward to having another conversation with you about all this stuff. And I hopefully the next time we talk about the world's a drastically different place for the better. And good luck with everything. And where can people find you if they want to get the book or just find out more about what you got going on?
Sure. Thanks, Josh. It's been a real honor to be on the show. They can go to my Instagram account. Again, trying not to tell you Instagram, but I got to tell you some accounts.
You kind of have to have it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can go to real.md or at real.md-selig. Am I saying that right? Real.md-selig. I have to look at my assistant to understand because I'm not even on social media that much. Real.md-selig on Instagram, and you can find the links, certainly Amazon, and there's Audible as well. Please do and then mdselig.com. My assistant is holding up say this.
Is that Lincoln? Tell Lincoln I said what's up.
They can find the links there. But if you do read the book or listen to the Audible, please do a review because it moves us up in the algorithms. And this message about us as huge love beings about to bring it full tilt boogie will get a little bit wider. So do a review, please.
Yeah. And just one thing on that, I was going to get the book, but you said the audiobook has actual like real clips and stuff too. Is it?
Yeah. So if you get the audiobook, you'll actually hear, I mean, you can get on right now. It's just what I do as a former combat pilot. When I heard the calls of MH370, I knew immediately like, well, that is an Asian dude on all these ground calls. But as soon as the plane launches, that's an American. And no one ever called it out because that's the control that I've been talking about. Yeah. That's the covert stuff of post, even to the point that they're looking for it now and spending another $1 billion on looking for that jet. I can tell you it's disassembled in a CIA hangar on Diego Garcia. It's covered in the book. That jet has been there since March 8, 2014. And the tragic story of what occurred to those families, those passengers, the crew is in the book. And I can promise you, if I wrote it, I don't write it as a guess. Yeah. It's what occurred with those families, and it's not good. But like I said, it's good for people to know what actually occurred, and you'll get to actually see the spin of what the cabal is doing right now with the whole undersea search. It's just another way to hoodwink you off of what actually occurred.
Yeah. Well, I want to, it's been an honor and a privilege to talk to you today. And I want to thank you for coming on. Anyone that's driving or, I'll have all the links in the show notes. So you don't have to pull over and write anything down. Just check the show notes later when you're listening to this. MD, I'm going to shut off right now, but I'm not hanging up. So just hold on 1 second.
Sure. You got it.
All righty. That was a wild one, right? Your head's all spinning in many directions. You're all amped up. You're not going to be able to sleep tonight because there's a lot for you to digest and think about. But yeah, I'm with you. Even if 1/10 of that is reality, the world is an awesome and interesting and wild place. Way weirder than, we understand or comprehend. Well, every now and then you gotta get out of the normal day-to-day routines and programming and expand and, let your mind wander into other realms and grasp at what's going on because it's wild out there. It's wild. All right. Before we wrap up, I've reorganized the Patreon. It's now called the Big Truth Back Channel. And that's where both, the Big Truth podcast and Big Truth Redacted stuff lives together in perfect harmony, right? But in all seriousness, that's where the longer conversations take place without the limit of being on public platforms. That means the gloves are off. We go deep, we go wild, right? Uncensored. Not that I censor any of this, so let's be honest. We go deeper and get more into it, but it doesn't get much wilder. You know what I mean? Because you just can't. But if you heard me mention the Inner Circle, that is my core group that is involved with the show. That's what I'm talking about. So no pressure, no obligation. But if you feel so inclined, go check it out at patreon.com/bigtruth. Check out the show, bigtruthpodcast.com. If you want some motorcycle stuff, check out choppahead.com, choppahead.com. And as always, if you need some artwork, go to tattooflashcollective.com. Now, if you remember my episode with Christian Yordanov, I've been getting a lot of people hitting me up that are really interested in his functional health services. You can check that out. Go to livelongerformula.com/bigtruth. And you can get well on your way to a health and wellness journey like I've been doing. Like I said, I'm down over 50 pounds. I used to be on 3 to 4 energy drinks a day. Now I'm like maybe 2 or 3 a month, if that, just when I really, really need it. Eating better. I've been going to the gym for years, but now with getting my diet and supplementation dialed in, I'm in beast mode. So check him out, livelongerformula.com/bigtruth. He will do great things for you. You guys will do great things together because he can only show you the way. You gotta do it. But anyway, I digress. This was an awesome episode. It's going to be a big year. A lot going on. I hope, I love that you guys are still, if you're still listening right now, I love that you're still here. We're going to go on a wild ride together. So buckle in and get ready because we're off.